Megha Goyal ji, Radhe Radhe Maharaj ji. Maharaj ji, when someone humiliates us, shouts at us and gets angry and use harsh words, but we try to chant the Lord's name and try not to answer back and control ourselves. But it is difficult to control when we are humiliated again and again. I get less angry now because I have reduced my expectations. But if the same behavior repeats itself many times, then it's difficult to not feel hostility towards the other person. In an environment where we are constantly humiliated and people are angry with us, how can we prevent any bad thoughts from coming to our mind?
See, you said yourself that when you lowered your expectations, you were able to tolerate more. If you did not have any expectations, then you would not feel unhappy at all. The desire for honor helps us recognize dishonor. The desire for appreciation helps us recognize criticism. Although there is no unhappiness or material object that can reach us, but we've forgotten our true spiritual self, and we are relating to the false ego, the gross body, thinking that we're woman, man, I'm doing good activities, he's doing bad activities. This is the source of problems. We cannot solve this by any external support or changing the circumstances, but only by intellect. If we don't use intellect, then our heart will burn, and then a point will come that you will be doing the same behavior. Then you will not be a devotee. You'll just be behaving like a material person. We desire honor, and that's why we don't like dishonor. But who's humiliating who? In his heart, the Lord is residing. And if we have that bhav, that feeling, you will see that same Lord is sitting in our heart by bhakti, and by gyan, the same Atma Tattva, the soul, is residing in both. One time, Uriya Babaji Maharaj had gone along with Hari Baba to a festival where a lot of great personalities had come. And Hari Baba, when he used to do kirtan, then along with playing musical instruments, he would ask everybody to do pranav, Om. So some of the saints of Kashi did not like this, that not everybody has a right to say pranav or Om. But Uriya Baba used to be there when the kirtan was going on. So they approached Uriya Baba and asked him that you should tell Hari Baba to stop. But he said, no, Hari Baba is a God-realized person and everything he's doing is as auspicious. We cannot put rules and regulations on him. So that same person who had raised this issue was on stage. Then he got hold of the mic. But Uriya Baba was always situated in his spiritual self. But this person on stage started criticizing Uriya Baba. And his disciples were so extraordinarily educated that they could have stopped this person in a second. But Uriya Baba told them to calm down. And for half an hour, he criticized Uriya Baba. And then when everybody left, then Uriya Baba left as well. And when he went back to his hut, then his main disciples came to him and said, Baba, why did you not order us? We could have stopped him in 2 minutes. He said, this is what you've learned from me. This is what I've taught you. Who was he criticizing? The body. I also criticize the body. The same soul which is there is also here. So who's criticizing who? When you have this bodily platform, then you will not be able to understand this.
Satru mitra samjani mani man apman sham dukh sukh labh nahani yeh jo kripa harivansh ki.
So between friend and enemy, between honor and dishonor, between appreciation and criticism, between profit and loss, the one who's equipoised, that person can rise the heights of spirituality. Otherwise, the entire world is trapped in this. See what's going on. All this conflicts, quarrels, hurting and killing people dear to you. It's happening because of these three modes of material nature. This is how our mind is affected by these three modes. So if we have to tolerate and we have to progress, because we can only progress by tolerating, not by fighting, they say some bad words and you say bad words, then the enmity for sure is firmed up. And when that happens, then your heart's going to burn and you will not be able to do bhajan and you will not be able to progress. So we have to think that I have to obtain the Lord. And you have to think that the Lord is strengthening me. Because if somebody abuses me, then my heart is burning and my sins are getting burned. So the Lord is strengthening us. Uri Babaji said that you are doing good sadhan. When somebody abuses you in a foreign language, how will you feel? You don't know the language. You will see, look at them, they're saying something, but then you'll just walk away. You will not feel bad. Now, but if somebody abuses you in your language and you behave the same way, you walk away, then it will be counted that yes, your sadhana is good. Now, in honor, dishonor, gain or loss, and happiness or unhappiness, this is just duality. Unless you do bhajan and you listen to discourses, you'll be crushed by this duality. So Kamalji, who was a son of Kabir Das, who had appeared by his will,
चलती चक्की देख के दिया ठठाए कमाल और राह सहारे कील के तो बाल न बाका जाए.
the stone grinder is going on, but only the grains that take shelter of the nail in the center will be saved. So in the same way, the nail of this entire sansara, this world, is Hari. So only if you take his shelter, you'll be saved, and then you'll not be affected by dualities. These are dualities: honor, dishonor, appreciation, criticism. And truly, you only feel this because of the Bheda. You feel a difference between yourself and the Lord and others. For example, if you have a little child who stammers and he climbs our lap and he holds onto a bead and he slaps us and he abuses us, then what will you do? You will laugh. But somebody might say, didn't you feel bad? He slapped you, your child? You will feel love. Hey, it's my child. Why? Because you have a sense of belonging. This is from worldly perspective. But now, if you have a spiritual viewpoint that my Lord is everywhere, then you will not feel any criticism, any dishonor, any unhappiness. Whether you're on the Bhakti Marg or the Gyan Marg, without being equipoised, you will not be able to progress spiritually. See, here we're just talking about spiritual worlds. We don't talk about material worlds here. When we are behaving materially, then we slip down. Then we're not able to understand spirituality. Our duty, if we just focus on our duty, not their duty, then we will not be affected. See, we do our duty, but we also expect him to do his duty. We're loving you so much, then at least you should say some few sweet words to us. Why are you so bitter to me? Then now you're examining his duty and then we forget our duty. And then what will happen is either we will develop enmity towards him or we will start to use the same language. Maharaji, we're living in this enmity. This question is for me. She's my wife. Maharaji, she's asked this question for me, Maharaji. I'm very bad, Maharaj. She's asked this question for me. So understand this. Why do you get angry? Think about it. Do you have these qualities that you don't make these mistakes, that somebody will get upset with you? In simple terms, if you had great qualities, then you will not get angry because anger is a bad quality. So if you have anger, that means that you have these bad qualities too. So we don't forgive the mistakes of others, but we forgive our huge mistakes in a second. This is our mistake. For a spiritual aspirant, we do not forgive our mistakes, but we forgive others. That's how you rise to the heights of spirituality. So, brother, why are you getting angry? Now, if somebody who's unknown to us and they criticize us, well, that's their intelligence. Now, in the household, if this is happening, then they're just immature. Then we just have to correct our intelligence and we have to behave lovingly with them. Lord Shankar says, when Ravan kicked Vibhishan and Vibhishan said, then what happened? Ravan kicked Vibhishan, but still with folded hands he said,
तुम पितु सरिस भले ही मोहि मारा पर राम भजे हित नाथ तो
Then Lord Shiva said,
उमा संत कई है बड़ाई मंद करत जो करे भलाई.
See, look at how this is how a saint is. He was kicked by Ravan, but he's still thinking about his welfare, his well-being. You kicked me, I don't care about that, but I wish that you may benefit. So if you are opposed to the Lord, you will not be benefited. So that's why we have to understand that we should not get angry. This behavior is our mistake. We are looking at the mistakes of others and getting angry. Then anger is Trividam Narkasya Dwaram. There are 3 gates of hell: lust, anger, greed. So we're choosing the path of hell. This is our mistake. Now see, if we don't get angry but we behave lovingly with somebody, with truth, then the other person will have to change, for sure. There is a lot of power in love. And if the other person doesn't change and you just keep tolerating, then he will be punished. And he will be punished so much that you will have to back down or change. This is how much power there is in truth. So why are we getting angry? What's the cause? It is ignorance, desire.
कामा संजायते क्रोधा क्रोधा स्मृति विभ्रमा स्मृति भ्रंशात बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात प्रणस.
You have desires. You're not looking at your duty, but looking at the duty of others. Then you will get angry. For example, your wife, she's surrendered her life to you. And if she made any mistakes, then explain to her nicely. If she doesn't understand 100 times, then explain to her 101 times. This is our duty. But we should not behave this way towards each other or towards society. For example, Krishna is saying, but this is not a war. You're in a household. Now, living in society, and we have to overcome these anomalies, these bad behaviors that we have. Now, having a wife is not like an enemy which is on the other side of war. This is just a household issue. In a household, you have favorable and unfavorable conditions. You should be stable if you want to understand spirituality. That you should not be bitter towards anybody. If somebody is behaving harshly towards you, then just tolerate. Then you'll become great. You'll progress spiritually. Now, any doubts? No, just control yourself. Sometimes when we look at the person in front of us, then we get angry. If at that time we look at, if I was in his shoes, then what would happen? They've made a mistake. We should forgive them. And we should help them progress with love. A lot of peace, because otherwise quarrel and bicker in every house between husband and son, between father and son, husband and wife. What kind of ignorance is this? Is this love? Is this humanity? Now, you might say that not everybody is going to change. Not everybody is going to change, because not everybody is listening. Not everybody wants to change. For example, maybe you were come here inspired by your wife or inspired by God. Now you've come here, you've listened to this. If you meditate on this and have a little patience and chat, then you will be corrected. These saintly qualities are what is dear to the God. And you can have these qualities whether you have a saintly uniform or just like a normal material uniform. The qualities, these saintly qualities are what are dear to the Lord. And they can happen in your uniform or my uniform. We have to control our behavior, and if our behavior is saintly and divine, then everything will be successful. No quarrel, no brick rules. Listen to my request. See, you don't have true love in your heart, because when somebody truly loves somebody, then you bear a lot of difficulties and you're not disturbed. But this love is not true. The love of the bodies is not true. It's based on selfish interest to fulfill each other's lust. When you love somebody, then you think about giving pleasure to them, giving happiness to them, regardless of how they treat you, how bitter they are to you. It will not affect you because you love them. Now, over here, people don't love each other. It's only based on our desire, on lust. If somebody behaves against our desire, then if things get worse, then we might even get violent. See, this is happening. Even like brothers, there is a problem with the partition of property, then they kill each other, kill the other brother. What happened here? So I'm not talking about liberation or obtaining the Lord. To live properly, chant, do good activities, give welfare, think of the welfare of others, and then your life will be successful. Your heart will not agonize. Otherwise, such incidents will occur that your whole life will be destroyed. Do you understand? that if anger increases, you can get down to violence and your intelligence will not work. So control yourself. If you get too angry, then walk away. Just be quiet. Chant Radha, 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 Radha. This is a solution to make it peaceful. And your heart will burn that, yes, at that time, you become less and you walk away. Save yourself. After some time, your anger will be calm and then you can talk to the person. If you think the anger will come back, then keep quiet for 1 or 2 days. Don't run away from the house. Just stay quiet for 1 or 2 days. And this tolerance, if you adopt it, then the families can be very peaceful. If you fight with each other, then this is not good. And this tolerance comes when you chant the name. That's why I say Radha, 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 Radha. Whatever name is free to you, Ram, Krishna, Hari, chant that name. Take shelter of the Lord and your life will become successful. Anger, violence, enmity is destroying your life.
गुजरिया ब्रिज में मत जइयो, कन्हैया मांगे दही का दान।
गुजरिया ब्रिज में मत जइयो, कन्हैया मांगे दही का दान।
गुजरिया बच के तू रहियो, अभी रूठे हैं कृष्ण भगवान।
गुजरिया बच के तू रहियो, अभी रूठे हैं कृष्ण भगवान।
गुजरिया ब्रिज में मत जइयो। बीच में तू कछु मत कहियो, अभी रूठे हैं कृष्ण भगवान।
बीच में तू कछु मत कहियो, अभी रूठे हैं कृष्ण भगवान।
गुजरिया ब्रिज में मत जइयो। श्याम का झगड़ा मैंने सखियों के संग देखा है। राधे श्याम का झगड़ा मैंने सखियों के संग देखा है। बाजू बंद और नथनी टूटी, हुड़दंग मैंने देखा है। हुड़दंग मैंने देखा है। गुजरिया किसी से मत कहियो, अभी रूठे हैं कृष्ण भगवान।
गुजरिया किसी से मत कहियो, अभी रूठे हैं कृष्ण भगवान।
गुजरिया ब्रिज में मत जइयो।
ब्रिज से कृष्ण भगवान। गुजरिया ब्रिज में मत जइयो,
गुजरिया ब्रिज में मत जइयो।
मेरा ईश्वर है कारीगर, नए वो खेल रचता है।
मेरा ईश्वर है कारीगर, नए वो खेल रचता है।
नहीं कुछ तेरे हाथों में बना फिरता है बाजीगर।
मेरा ईश्वर है कारीगर,
के धारे गगन पे चांद और तारे। बनाए नदिया के धारे गगन पे चांद और तारे। हैं जितने फूल गुलशन में खिलाए उसने ही सारे, खिलाए उसने ही सारे। उसी की वंदना तू कर जो सृष्टि का रचयिता है।
उसी की वंदना तू कर जो सृष्टि का रचयिता है। मेरा ईश्वर है कारीगर,
करे वो पेड़ फलदाई फसल खेतों में लहराई। करे वो पेड़ फलदाई फसल खेतों में लहराई। जो जग में रौनकें छाई कला उसने ही दिखलाई, कला उसने ही दिखलाई। ना बन तू झूठा सौदागर, जगत का वो ही करता है।
बन तू झूठा सौदागर, जगत का वो ही करता है। मेरा ईश्वर है कारीगर,
निर्माण करता है। करे पैदा वही मारे, वही निर्माण करता है। चलाए सारी सृष्टि वो अहम इंसान करता है, अहम इंसान करता है। उसी परमात्मा से डर जो सबका ही विधाता है।
उसी परमात्मा से डर जो सबका ही विधाता है। मेरा ईश्वर है कारीगर, नए वो खेल रचता है। नहीं कुछ तेरे हाथों में बना फिरता है बाजीगर।
मेरा ईश्वर है कारीगर, नए वो खेल रचता है।
मेरा